KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3, The Fan. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight, taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more, DenverSports.com.
Welcome into Denver Sports Tonight here on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. You got Marcello Romano, you got Dante Gomez pulling double duty, producing the show and co-hosting the show this evening. And you got yourself on the RamosLaw.com text line at 303-713-1043. It's Thanksgiving week, Dante, and the Denver Broncos are 9-2 and amongst a lot of publications are in the top 5 in the NFL as far as where people view them right now. We'll get into a little bit of that. We'll have the discussion. Von Miller spoke to George Payton. We'll get into a little bit of that. Sean Payton talking about what he needs to see from his team coming off the late bye that they just had as they prepare to go into Washington to take on the Commanders on Sunday Night Football. The news up in Boulder about Juju not going to play in the final or in the finale, and then just some questions I have around the league. I'm going to start you with this, Dante. You're not from Colorado, right?
I'm not.
You're an Arizona guy through and through.
Yes. I mean, technically I was born in California, but I lived there for like 3 months, so I don't really know if that counts.
Okay, so let me ask you this. It's Thanksgiving. What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
Flying back to Arizona.
All right, so you fly back like that day, the day of?
I'm flying. It was cheaper too, so that's why I chose to. But yeah, I'm flying back Thursday morning.
Nice. And then you'll be there just like short stint. Any specific traditions that the Gomezes do on Thanksgiving? Oh yes, the Hernandez.
We actually refer to ourselves as the Gomai.
Oh, that works.
Yeah. Like cacti.
There you go.
But no, we actually don't really have any deep-rooted Thanksgiving traditions. We used to always go to Thanksgiving or Disneyland for Thanksgiving. That was kind of our move. Get 2 days off, so make it a long weekend. Both my parents were from Florida, Miami, so all of our extended families all over there as well. So it was kind of just us by ourselves in Arizona, and we would just drive out after school on Wednesday, do Disneyland Thursday, Friday, maybe go to the beach on Saturday and come home Sunday.
Okay, so if there's not a specific tradition, is there a specific dish that you look forward to? Let me start you with this. Are you a Thanksgiving meal guy? Because I think you either are or you aren't.
I don't mind the meal. My brother made a big stink about it, so we're not doing turkey this year. We're going to do brisket instead. But
there you go.
More regular traditional sides. I think we have sweet mashed potatoes, maybe some cream corn, stuff like that. But I mean, I'm an eater. I like all kinds of food. I'm not going to.
You're getting a lot of the listeners ready for that as well. Just, I'm probably more of a sides guy. I've never been like a Thanksgiving. Not that I don't like turkey. A turkey sandwich is fine. I just traditionally, there's few people that know how to actually cook a turkey to where it's like, man, that's damn good. And if you're one of those people out there, I tip my cap to you because I won't even try it. I'm not that guy who's going to be putting up a video trying to deep fry it, burning a house down, or having it look like the turkey that comes out on Christmas Vacation where they forgot to remove the heart and they put it in too soon, that type of stuff. Not me. So, as we get prepped for that, I was just interested to hear from you because I know you're not from here. So, if you weren't going to be doing anything, I'd be like, you roll down to my place.
Oh, you're going to invite me?
Yeah, we're hosting. What's one more person? So, we could have had you, but enjoy your time in Arizona. We move on from that discussion, and you can get involved with that discussion on the RamosLaw.com text line as well. 2 things I want participation in. One is that any Thanksgiving traditions that you either partake in or that you would recommend people kind of adopting as their own. And 2, the list of semifinalists for the National Football League Hall of Fame have come out. And this is a discussion that I had on my show with Kyle on Sunday morning, but it's kind of like it's something that doesn't happen quite as much and almost feels forced if it does. But great players used to have nicknames when we grew up, Dante. Like, and I perused down the list of the Hall of Fame semifinalists when I was preparing for tonight, and I was like, dude, we don't have any nicknames. There's not anyone on there. There's one person that was on there that I knew a nickname right away, and that was T-Sizzle. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No. T-Sizzle? Sounds like
Terrell
Taylor
Suggs.
Swift. Okay.
Terrell Suggs.
Also Hard University.
Yes. So it's my sister-in-law actually went to school at ASU when T-Sizzle was playing for the Sun Devils. So throw that out there. Best nicknames of all time in sport. And if you can think of one right off the top of your head, you can. I mean, I'll give you a couple Kickstarters. There's like the Kid, the Great Bambino,
Mr. October,
that type of stuff. So get involved with the show doing it that way. We'll read some of those when we can. Here's where I want to start, Dante. And I'm not. This isn't just like let's go down the power rankings. I do want to ask you the question though. And two of the most, I don't know, valued or substantiated publications in NFL.com and ESPN.com both have the Denver Broncos sitting at number 3 in the league as far as power rankings. When you hear that right now, do you go, yeah, there's maybe 2-3 teams better than the Broncos, or do you think that may be a little bit cart before the horse, or is it just because it's subjective and what we saw last week on to certain teams, like the Colts dropped, the Seahawks for whatever reason are still hanging up there after they got kind of beat down by the Rams, but your thoughts?
This might be a hot take. I think there's only one team in the NFL that you could say is definitively better than the Broncos. I think it's the Los Angeles Rams. I think they look so good. Quarterback and coach just have so much connection right now, and they are just playing on a whole different level. So other than that, I don't really see a team that's definitively better than the Broncos. I think there's a lot of teams in that next tier that could win the Super Bowl, and I'm going to put the Broncos in that category of could win the Super Bowl if everything falls right. But other than that, I don't see any team that I'd be scared of as far as the Broncos go. At that point, you're kind of doing a lot of 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, whatever, and so on. So I think that feels right based on the record, based on them coming off beating the Chiefs. All of that stuff feels right, but it's a week-to-week league. They go out and lose on Sunday to the Commanders, and we're probably looking at them 5th, 6th, 7th, something like that.
Oh, you put in another one. I thought you were going 3 weeks in a row here.
That phrase has ruined me being able to talk.
I thought you were trying to do it. You threw in the 5. You want to hear a funny story? My nephew, he's 5 years old. Listen to this. And, it's big. It's from the teenage kids. It's all the way down. My nephew's 5 years old. Probably one of the best lines. He's like, my mom won't let me say 6, 7. So sometimes I say 1, 2.
That's funny.
So he can get away with it. 1, 2, 3, 4. What does it matter? I think, interestingly enough, you said that there's no one that you would really fear. Probably the teams that I would actually have any, I don't know, fear of failure against are quite far behind you as far as the rankings are concerned.
You'd have fear against them, or you think it'd be a level playing field for the Broncos?
Not fear, but it's like it's one of those things like if they got in, they would cause me concern. There would be a little bit of anxiousness knowing like that team's lurking. Like if Kansas City, Buffalo, or Baltimore ends up the 7 seed, and for whatever reason the Broncos end up the 2 seed, and they're hosting that game here that weekend, it's like, ugh. Like you did all that work, and that's the result you're going to end up with. But to your point also, it's like I also don't want to get into the game of we have to have it and we can't be successful without it. Also trying to map out your course through the playoffs. I've seen that happen before where, hell, dude, in 2005, the Colts were a juggernaut, complete juggernaut. I think they rested players the final game. They welcome in the Pittsburgh Steelers. The night before the Colts played the Steelers, the Denver Broncos beat the New England Patriots and I think gave Tom Brady his first postseason loss. That's the Champ Bailey 100-yard pick down the sideline. Benjamin Watson catches up with him. And we saw the next day the Steelers beat the Colts and almost actually hand the game back to the Colts, but we're like, wow, we got it. We got the AFC Championship coming here. We're not going to have to go and face that juggernaut that's the Colts that we can't get past. We're going to go to the Super Bowl. I went to that game. The Broncos got beat up big time by Ben Roethlisberger and the Steelers. I think the final score was like 34-17, 34-19, something like that. So I also want to be like, don't play games with trying to map out your course through a postseason because it never plays out the way you would expect it to.
Yeah, especially this year in the AFC. it almost feels like a March Madness bracket where you're just kind of surviving and advancing. All these teams are going to be very competitive. Maybe in the first round you'll have a little bit of a lesser than opponent, but by the time you get to divisional weekend and conference championship weekend, you're talking about teams that have already won a playoff game. They're going to be hot, and you just kind of hope the luck and the game favors you. But I don't think there's a map of like, oh, if we do this and then this and then this, the Broncos could slide into the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be tough regardless, and it could be tough starting in the first round, the wild card round, based on how log jammed the AFC playoff picture looks.
We're going to play a little game, all right? First of all, let me start off with asking you this question. Do you believe in psychics?
Not really. I think it's a lot of educated guesses.
So you don't think there's somebody that can actually foresee the future or has a crystal ball, so to speak, to like know what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, how it's going to happen?
No, I believe it's like educated guesses and drawing from context clues and that kind of stuff.
I agree with you. If there were people that had that power, then I think a lot of situations, at least tragedies, you would hope could be, averted.
I mean, I say that, but have you seen that guy Oz Perlman?
Uh-uh.
The guy goes in like NFL like meeting rooms.
Really?
He's like on the news and stuff. I'll send you his stuff. I'm sure the text line knows who I'm talking about. This guy's incredible. The things he can do. He's the best I've ever seen at it. Where he's like guessing people's PIN codes and he's predicting what the Josh Allen's gonna predict for the Super Bowl. He writes it down, then asks Josh, and then Josh says what he already wrote down like 10 minutes before that. It's incredible. Sorry, that was a little side tangent on sidekicks.
I'm interested in it now.
I'll send you some of his work. It is absolutely incredible.
Because, and I'll go back to, it's probably before your time, but Pee-wee's Playhouse back in the day, he had like a genie called Jambi that he would like tap on the box and he would ask questions and get answers for it. So I'm going to play that game with you now, Dante, and I'm going to say, I heard Zach talking similarly about like, hey, if I could have told you back before the season started, when the Broncos get to their bye week, this is what's going to happen. We're going to fast forward. We're going into the future. All right? By the time week 17, week 18 is over, are the Baltimore Ravens a playoff team?
Yes.
Okay, by the time the regular season is over, are the Kansas City Chiefs a playoff team?
Oh, so yes.
And by the time the regular season is over, did the New England Patriots win the AFC East?
Yes.
Does that cause any concern for you going forward, knowing that the three teams that we all thought were the class of this conference going into the season will be at like the bottom half of the teams that have qualified for the postseason?
Well, I think Baltimore can win the division. I think they are going to win the division. So I have the Steelers not even making it all together.
Okay.
So at least the Broncos, if they win the division, wouldn't have to face Baltimore in the first round. But yes, you are leaving the door open for Kansas City and a Buffalo there. I think that does concern me. I think it's one of those where those teams are very capable of going into a road environment and winning a game. We've seen both those teams have a lot of playoff success, go to AFC championships, Kansas City in particular, go to Super Bowls. So it's one of those where it's a new season. It's a new, maybe era passing of the torch in the NFL too. But these teams are still hanging on, and this could be their final hurrah in their, current form in terms of Patrick Mahomes with Travis Kelce with Andy Reid. I don't know how long that trio is going to be able to stay together. Buffalo, it seems like Sean McDermott is kind of on the hot seat as well if they can't turn things around here too at the end of the year. So it wouldn't surprise me if, opening weekend of the playoffs and the wild card, you have Patrick Mahomes coming to town, you have Josh Allen coming to town, and those, to me, are the two best quarterbacks in the NFL. Out there, Joe Burrow and Lamar Jackson in there. Those two guys seem to be hurt a lot too, so Josh Allen and Mahomes are, stable. They're not injured too often, and they just go out there and make plays that, maybe a handful of other quarterbacks in the NFL can make, and they do it over and over and over again.
So I asked the question because it's like, I think a lot of people here within Broncos country, and if you guys are out there listening, feel free to chime in on the text line on whether or not we keep asking these questions because I don't know that there's 100% belief in the team. And I can only revert that back to 2013, 2015, 97, 98. Like, I don't think there were so much concern about, oh, man, what happens if they qualify and they qualify late? Or, man, like if we don't get the number one seed, it's going to be very difficult for them to get all the way to the Super Bowl. it's like we're laying out these scenarios because we don't actually really believe they're the third-ranked team in the National Football League. That there's things to, and that's not a wrong answer, by the way. Some of these games, I know we could say on one hand, well, this team could be 11-0. Yeah, you could, but you could also be hovering closer to 500. You had a miraculous comeback against the Giants. You had a unbelievable comeback against the world champs in their building. You snuck away with the win against the Raiders. Those are the 3 games right there that could have easily gone the other way. But I think it's because we're afraid to be like, hey, we can revert it to dating terms, Dante. You're really into this girl, and you may even be in love with her, but you don't want to be the first one to say it. You don't want to commit because you're not quite sure what she's going to say. And the Broncos have done everything that we've asked of them, maybe not in the fashion that we've expected this year, but they're still sitting at 9-2 atop the AFC right now with everything right in front of them. And you coming out of the bye, going to Washington, a team that you should win that game. There should be no questions about that. And then you go to Las Vegas. So essentially, by the time we're in second week of December, you should be 11-2 and have everything in front of you before you welcome in a very good Green Bay team and then a Jacksonville team before you have the Chiefs and the Chargers again. Am I convincing myself? Am I convincing those out there? You already sound like you're pretty comfortable with where they're at, but I think it might be different because you're covering a team. If this were the Cardinals, how would you feel? You know what I mean?
I would feel a lot more bought in and like, oh, that's it. We're going to the Super Bowl. I think it's a little easier for me to not go to that extent because, I don't have any roots of rooting for the Broncos or anything like that. And then on top of what you were just saying there, this team could be 11-2. I don't know if I'd feel any better about this team being 11-2 than where they are right now being 9-2. None of that is really going to convince me. Like I said, I think there's a lot of teams in the AFC that are kind of all in this same weird mix area of, they could lose in the first round or they could go all the way to the Super Bowl. And I think the Broncos are included in that group.
Is there a piece that, listen, it's the trade deadline's come and gone. And we all, 2020 being hindsight, would have been like, damn, we wish they would have got a running back to fulfill that void in case J.K. Dobbins went down, which he ended up doing. I think it's interesting. Zach and Phil were asking where Audric Estime is. I kind of thought about that after last week's game. Is like bring in somebody who's familiar with it, but he's with the Saints. So there's not really any pieces that you can add. I mean, I know Brandon Cooks was in discussion a couple weeks ago. I think the Bills just inked him up. So this is what it is going for the stretch. And if that's going to be the case, I know a lot was spent on the drive today talking about Sean Payton and him self-scouting his team. What's the X factor, Dante, for them to, because listen, I don't think you're going to get anyone in that running back room to get up to where JK was by the time it's all said and done. I know Cecil has maybe even jokingly said he'd be back by the Super Bowl if they were to get there. But that's a big question for me. And I think ultimately, no matter what it is, it all boils down to what your quarterback does, because if you're not going to have that crutch to kind of lean on with your running game, and I think they have to improve there. Don't get me wrong, you can't ignore that. But it's going to come down to Bo Nix had pressure before. He's going to have a lot more as they get closer to the postseason.
Yeah, my X factor, you just nailed it. It's Bo Nix. Can he play like a top 10 quarterback in the NFL, or is he going to continue to play like the 20th best quarterback in half of the game and then the 5th best quarterback in the other half of the game? Can he just play like a top 10 quarterback throughout the entirety of a 60-minute football game? To me, that's the question, and that's the answer of, are the Broncos able to win a playoff game, win multiple playoff games? It's going to come down to Bo Nix and Sean Payton being able to put him in positions to be successful, and then Bo Nix going out and executing, because when you get to the playoffs, you're facing, they're all good teams, whether it's a great quarterback in Buffalo or a great defense like Baltimore's defense has been playing a lot better lately. So at that point, it really does come down to your quarterback, because the Broncos do have a great defense, but that can only take you so far. You can't win games, 7. Oh, that was good. I was about to do it again, Chell.
6-7.
Yeah, 7-6. Winning games 13-10 in the playoffs doesn't really happen that often. You're gonna have to put up, 17 to 20 points here, and is Bo Nix able to do that without J.K. Dobbins by his side? Is he able to go out there and not be a part of a team win, be the reason your team wins. I think that's still yet to be seen with Bo on a consistent basis.
I think you're right, and it's hard to go against that, especially in the National Football League. It's the most important position in all of professional sports. No matter how dominant your defense is, even if you go to historically great defenses, you had quarterbacks that were competent, that could get it done. Trent Dilfer filled in for Tony Banks. Jim McMahon was more than competent to be able to do it. Brad Johnson at the end of his career for that Bucs team, more than competent. Peyton Manning, when they won in 2015, was not even close to the Star Wars numbers Peyton Manning that we saw even 2 years prior. So it's easy to always go with the quarterback. I think mine's really going to ultimately be, because this is the point of the year last year. We saw the defense kind of fall off a little bit. I want to see if they can maintain it and get better and really be able to kind of be that driving force to know that that's going to be their calling card. And as much as we want the offense to look better, and I think it will get better, it'll improve. I just don't think it's going to get up to the level of what we think it could have gotten to this season. So, interestingly enough, Von Miller recently came out and said that he was actually, let's just listen to him.
I was a free agent for a long time. I did reach out to the Denver Broncos, and, I tried to be on the Denver Broncos as well, but it was just a short conversation with me and George Payton, because at the same time, I want to be a GM, and I think that's not a secret. Whenever I look at teams, I'm looking at it from a GM perspective, and it just wasn't a fit for Von Miller to be on this team. The second string guys after Nick Benito and after Jonathan Cooper, those guys get sacks too, and I think they both had 5 sacks each, and they both play special teams, and they do all the grunt work. Me, I'm a three-point shooter. Like, I'm going to come in, I'm going to shoot a three-point. Like, when I'm in the game, like, I'm ball hogging, and I'm just trying to make a play, then they take me out. But they didn't really need that. They didn't really need that this year. They had guys that shot the three that came off the bench. So who knows what it'll look like this coming up year.
That's Von Miller talking about we all had that discussion in the offseason about would it fit for him to be here and to have that kind of veteran leadership. And I think most of us were fine with the decision for them not to bring a player like that back. And I think he was pretty honest about his talent and where it's at now. He's coming in for one specific reason. This wouldn't have been like the DeMarcus Ware thing. I will say this, though, Dante. If for whatever reason he became available down the stretch, I would take a look at it. I kick the tires on having that type of specialty. Just go out there 8 to 10 plays a game and give me everything you got going after a quarterback.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I also just think this team it's just a totally different team from when he was last in Denver. And, you heard Sean Payton talk about it. I want to say it was before this season or last season when he's like, there's something dangerous about young and hungry. And he mentions it in the clip that a lot of these backup pass rushers are also doing the grunt work. They're also playing special teams. He's not going to really come in and do that. I think the culture of this team is just it's such a good place right now. I'm not saying that Von Miller would ruin that, but you have a guy that's, he's a veteran. He's not trying to go out there and, work his butt off and, take, extra unnecessary hits. I think he's just at a different stage in his career. It doesn't really make sense for the Broncos. If one of the pass rushers were to go down, I think absolutely that would make sense. But I like this defense where it's at. I don't think they need any extra help rushing the passer.
No, that's not an area of concern for them, really. Overall defensively, I heard you guys break down the numbers, I think, yesterday, and I've been kind of harping on it for a while. As good as they've been defensively, they're not turning people over. They're not turning people over, and they're getting a lot of flags thrown on them. One player in particular, in Riley Moss, who I agree with most people, he's actually playing pretty well, but now it's like he's got that perception. He's the great white hope playing a cornerback position that if any kind of contact's made whatsoever, he's going to get the flag. Sean Payton was asked about that, and here's his answer.
With Riley, sometimes it's technique. Sometimes it's the traffic opposite of a real good corner. Now, Pat hadn't been healthy, but, there's some things that I'm sure he'll want to clean up. And then there are a few calls where we look at and it's tough to try to clean up or correct something if you don't agree with it. Overall, the penalty thing is not just one player, though. The penalty thing is by far, when you look at the totality of it, and if you do your homework on it and you look offensively and defensively, that's something that we as a collective have to get better at.
Yeah, relative to how many Sean knows it better than anyone. It kind of goes down to coaching and discipline to me, and they haven't been good enough at that point. If they want to get where they expect to go, they certainly have to clean that up. Riley Moss is going to continue to get targeted. It's not going to go away. So, I mean, for us to think, oh, he'll get it figured out, he's gotten called sometimes when he's had great coverage. It's just the perception of who he became now as a cornerback, kind of like when Kareem Jackson was here and was noted as like being some type of a headhunter. It's just the perception of the way he's playing the game of football right now. All right, we got to get to a quick break. There's news up in Boulder. Coach Prime has made the decision for Juju that he will not play the final regular season game so he can save his red shirt. So what does that mean? What is next? And is Juju really committed to CU? Dante and I discuss next.
Which running back should lead the way against the Commanders? What should be the top priority for the Broncos defense? We'll break it all down in the Fan Football pregame show, live on game day starting at 4 p.m. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
250 years ago, a promise was made to connect families and friends near and far. And during the holidays, that promise is more important than ever. That's why USPS is building a better network to meet your needs, with timely deliveries, easy and affordable ways to ship, and everything you need to make your season full of holiday cheer. Our purpose is delivering your peace of mind, knowing your love will arrive, bringing joy to all. The United States Postal Service. Learn more at USPS.com/holidays.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
This is a test of the emergency alert system. This has been a test of the emergency alert system.
I know some people think after a car accident, do I really need a lawyer? Hiring Postman Law isn't only about the courtroom. We're your single point of contact in a complicated claims process. We take on the insurance adjusters, organize your medical bills, coordinate with doctors, and make sure nothing gets missed. Get the outcome you deserve without the headache. Call 844-POSTMAN. When other firms promise, Postman delivers.
Call 844-POSTMAN. Attorney advertising.
Cake Mortgage Corp. Equal housing lender. NMLS number 1734623. Licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply. Are you a first-time home buyer? Are you trying to lower your existing mortgage payment? Do you need cash from your equity? For most people, getting a mortgage means endless paperwork and weeks of anxiety. But with Cake Mortgage, our process is simple, fast, and hassle-free. Whether you're purchasing, refinancing, or looking to tap your home's equity, our team guides you step by step so you always know what's next. Our thousands of 5-star customer reviews will tell you no one can do what Cake can. So stop stressing and start saving fast with Cake. Your fresh-baked cake home mortgage is ready to enjoy. So don't wait. Call 720-850-0012. That's 720-850-0012. Or visit cakehome.com. To learn more now.
For the fitness fanatic on your Christmas list, save big this holiday season. At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. We have the nation's lowest prices on the best equipment money can buy. We carry true treadmills. They are the smoothest, quietest, and best warranty treadmills ever built for the home. Work out on your schedule on the equipment you choose from the safety and comfort of your own home. Visit one of Fitness Gallery's 7 convenient locations from Colorado Springs to Fort Collins. We have you covered.
You gave years, maybe decades to your job. You showed up, worked hard, and planned for retirement. But now the company's changed, or maybe you've taken a buyout or been forced into early retirement. So what happens next? I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Trajan Wealth. And if you've built up a 401k or thrift savings plan, now is the time to ask, is that money really working for you? Many workplace retirement plans offer limited options and even less guidance. At Trajan Wealth, we help people just like you roll over their accounts into IRAs with more flexibility and personalized investment strategies built around your goals. For households with $500,000 or more, let us build you a personalized plan. We operate on veteran values, service, trust, and doing what's right. Your next chapter starts now. Call Trajan today, 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Advisory services offered through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. See website for details.
Hey folks, Stoke here for my friends over at Embers Golf, your go-to spot for holiday shopping. This Black Friday, they're bringing the heat. 15% off all gift card purchases and a massive 40% off every in-stock Nike golf shoes. That's right, gear up and save big. Embers Golf is family-owned and customer-focused, so you know you're getting the best service and the best deals. Don't wait. Shop now at embersgolf.com. Embers Golf, where your passion meets the green.
This segment on 104.3 The Fan, powered by Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
There you go, Dante, playing the hits. It's a good one. Denver Sports Tonight, Marcello Romano, Dante Gomez, yourself on the RamosLaw.com text line at 303-713-1043. I asked for a couple things. One was best nicknames of all time. I'll read a few of those. And also any, I guess, Thanksgiving traditions that you partake in or would like to adopt or tell people they should. A couple Megatron. There's a good one. Jake the Snake. That's for 2 players. You don't know who the other one is?
I mean, Plummer, obviously. Arizona State legend, but I don't know who the other one is.
Is the old Oakland Raider quarterback. Why is his name slipping my head right now? But that's who it is.
Jamarcus Russell.
No. It's certainly not him.
Derek Carr.
No. This is back in the day. He played Kenny Stabler, I think, is the one that I'm looking for.
His name was Kenny Stabler, and he went by Jake the Snake?
No, I think just the Snake is what he went by, but I think he was the first one to be called the Snake. Jake the Snake came later, and Jake the Snake was even after a pro wrestler named Jake the Snake Roberts. Play on words. Real Deal Holyfield, Manimal. How about Rich Tombstone Jackson, The Big Hurt, The Big Unit? These are all the baseball ones. You should have a couple of those in your Rolodex there, Dante. Pistol Pete, The Nigerian Nightmare, The Smiling Assassin, to the Steve Atwater. Dude, there's too many of them. So we appreciate you guys getting involved on the text line, 303-713-1043. We went to break talking about the news coming out of Boulder that Coach Prime has made the decision for Julian Lewis that he will not play in the game against K-State this coming weekend, and he will preserve his red shirt in doing so. Obviously, and I read it quickly, just what was up on Denver Sports, that he wasn't exactly thrilled about it. And that's what Prime wants, is he wants somebody to compete. Dante, I ask you, is that the right decision, knowing what you have, kind of this being a year that certainly didn't go what people thought it was going to be, and it's a bit of a wasted year, so why would you waste a whole year of eligibility for one game playing a K-State team this coming weekend?
It's absolutely the right idea and the right track they should go on, but I think it's pretty funny that Dion is taking credit for it. I mean, there's just no way Juju should have played in this game. He should know that. His parents should know that. Anybody on his side or his camp should know that. So I think it's pretty funny that Dion's taking credit for it, but absolutely the right move. You can't risk an entire year of eligibility just, to play in one game. I'm sure Juju has aspirations to go to the NFL, but everyone thinks they're going to be a first-round draft pick until you go through some trials and tribulations. Carson Beck was supposed to be a first-round pick going into Georgia last year, or Georgia season last year. Now he had to transfer, and he's playing another year. Arch Manning was supposed to be a first-round pick. Now there's no way he's leaving after this year. Plans go awry, and you want to leave yourself as many opportunities, many options as possible. So it's absolutely the right move to sit this one out and leave yourself 4 more years to play in college football if you end up needing that. If not, you still got some great experience this year. You play next year. Maybe you are, or not next year. Maybe you play the next 2 years and you are ready to go to the NFL. But you always have that, that backup plan that you could return to college if you need to.
Plus, now you got guys like Diego Pavia out of Vanderbilt and Joey Aguilar out of Tennessee trying to submit their case so that they can stay for 1 more year, that's what college football has become because of the money that they can make in doing so. Why would you go if you're not projected to be like a draft pick in the NFL and you have any chance to try and get some eligibility back? You would certainly do so and make however much they're making. Those are both SEC players, so I don't know how much they're even making. But it kind of reverts you back to the question, Dante, of what has changed within athletics. And I think I asked you this question a couple weeks ago about, do you believe in load management, especially with I think is the greatest of all time, Michael Jordan, coming out saying he would have never done that just because he knew how much people paid to come and see him, and he thought it was his responsibility to go out there and play. This is a different situation. I'm not going to compare the Julian Lewis situation to that, but I will compare it to Joe Burrow being 3-8 and saying he's going to play on Thanksgiving night against the Baltimore Ravens. Their season, they are so on life support that they have to win out to even be considered. And at that point, I think they'd be 9-8. Do you like it and Joe Burrow said, if I'm healthy, I'm going to play. I can't live my life scared. I can't play this game scared. I think if you're a Bengals fan, you probably look at it differently, like the season's lost. But do you appreciate that sentiment of being kind of like, that's an old school type of take? There's plenty of players out there right now in all of the leagues that would be like, we're done, I'm done.
I like that he's playing. I'll put it that way. I think there's a time and a place for load management. I think that's what I said to you when we discussed this last, that if you're going to miss, 5 games sprinkled in throughout the season in the NBA and you're fully healthy for those games, I'm okay with that. I think, Kawhi Leonard obviously took that to an entire new level when he missed, 20 games or whatever it was that one season. I think that's a problem, but, you got to go out there and play the game still. So I'm okay with Burrow playing. Maybe the very last game of the year he sits out, something like that. But if you're healthy, go out there and play for now. Yeah, why not?
That'd be pretty miraculous if they were able to qualify. I mean, because you're talking about they have to play Baltimore twice. You think Baltimore's going to end up winning that division. It's Cincinnati. They lose Jamar Chase this week. You're just coming back to a team with such a putrid defense that I don't care if Joe Burrow comes out and is Superman. It's next to impossible for them to qualify for the postseason. All right, we stay in the college front because you had kind of talked to me about this during the break. Prime's not going anywhere, at least doesn't look like it. I think the question remains, does Julian Lewis stay even though the season that they had? Here's the problem. When you have guys like Satan on your offensive line and guys like Julian Lewis, if they were to leave this offseason through the portal, that spells big, big time trouble because that's the way he brings these players in. He's got that star power. Are they totally committed? They have a coach up there. College football on this state along the Front Range has been crap this year, Dante. The CSU's being forgotten about. They had a player do something similar to Jamar Chase the other night against Boise, and nobody talks about it because they're terrible. But you might have a solution for me there. So 2 questions. How committed are some of the stars that are up in Boulder now? Do they come back? And 2, who would the CSU go out and try and acquire at the head coach so that they can be competitive in wherever they kind of land up in the college football landscape?
On the first part of it, I assume Juju's coming back. He came out and said he was going to come back, so I feel like you kind of can skirt around an answer if that's not how you truly feel. Kind of the way we've seen Lane Kiffin come out and not really declare I'm coming back to Ole Miss, versus you have other coaches around the country where they are re-up. Kurt Cignetti, there is no mixed messages on if he's going to be Indiana's coach next year. So I think there was a way to handle those kind of questions, and the fact that Juju came out and said, I will be here next year, I'm committed to the Buffs, I feel pretty good about him being in black and gold in 2026.
Okay.
And then, yes, I have your long-awaited coach at CSU. You're a CSU guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
I said it yesterday on Denver Sports Tonight, but, new audience, new co-host here. You ready for this one, Cello?
Yes. Wow me.
Colin Klein. You might know that name. He was the quarterback at Kansas State, Heisman finalist the year, I believe it was the year Johnny Manziel went on to win. He is, Big 12 Player of the Year, all that kind of stuff. He was the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coaches at Kansas State up until this last season. And when he was at Kansas State was fairly successful. They've kind of fallen off a cliff here a little bit. He wasn't in the building this year. He got taken down to College Station to join Mike Elko's staff. He's the offense coordinator at A&M this year. A&M's having a fantastic year. Been pretty much top 3 ranked for the last month or two here. So he's got results at everywhere he's gone. But you ready for the kicker, Cello?
Bring it.
He's from Loveland, Colorado. Went to Loveland High School.
Wow, I did not know that. I don't think I've actually heard that name since he was playing at K-State. That's the last time I really remember, but I'm not going to argue that. Would CSU be enticing enough position to lure if he has that type of success in the SEC, like he just had this season, or he's still having? It's not about facilities or any of that stuff anymore. CSU has all of that now. Now you also have to bring the coin. So, he'll probably get looks elsewhere, but I love it. Because I'm drawing blanks right now. I want that team to be competitive. You have to have somewhat of a face at the head coaching position. And I know a lot of people you just get a great coach, it'll all work out. You don't have that type of time anymore. You got to kind of be able to turn it around pretty quickly. I love it, man. Slam dunk, dude.
I think so, too. He's a young guy. I think he can relate to the players. Offensive-minded, obviously played quarterback in the Big 12, threw it all around, had incredible stats. He's been a great OC with a track record there. You do bring up a good question, though. Is CSU enticing enough for him? I think that's the big question, because we've seen coordinators go straight from the Power 4 level to being Power 4 head coaches. Dan Lanning went from Georgia, led one of the best defenses in the country at Georgia, went straight to Oregon, got the head coaching job. Kenny Dillingham, offensive coordinator at Oregon with Dan Lanning, actually, got the Power 4 opportunity at Arizona State. That was his first head coaching job. So you could see a guy like Colin Klein go on that trajectory of getting a Power 4 job straight from being a coordinator. But I think that if there's ever a time to go for it, I think this would be the year. Maybe you're catching him a year or two before
bring him back home.
Exactly. And maybe he wants to be here. He's from here. Maybe his parents. I don't know his family situation or anything like that, but I think you see this all the time in college football of guys going home to be their head coaches there. Obviously didn't play at Colorado State, but from the area, I think that could be enticing enough for him.
I'm endorsing it. Well done, Dante. We got to get to a quick break. When we come back, we'll get through some more of these nicknames, plus the Avalanche continue to roll, and the Denver Nuggets as well. Big game, big win last night. We do all of that next.
Will Sean Payton turn Bo Nix loose against the Commanders? Will the Broncos defense continue its dominant showing after the bye week? We'll react to it all in the Fan Football Postgame Show, live on game day starting at the 2-minute warning. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Just how good is Pure Talk's current deal for unlimited wireless? Well, you might say it's the deal of your lifetime. Because right now, for just $29.95 a month, Pure Talk is offering unlimited talk, text, and data for life. Not your phone's life, your life. This is Pure Talk's top-tier plan. It comes with a crazy fast 5G network along with a 30-gig hotspot. And at just $29.95 a month, there has never been a better opportunity to lock in a ridiculously low rate for as long as you live. And save thousands and thousands of dollars along the way. This plan is normally $65 a month, but if you switch today, you will save over 50% every single month for the rest of your life. See what I mean? It really is the deal of your lifetime. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe. Offer ends 12/7. Some restrictions apply. Details at puretalk.com.
Gobble, 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 gobble. Oh, man, I do a terrible turkey impersonation. Hey, everybody, Dan Jacobs from Jacobs Law and 303 Law 4040. Those of you that listen to the Dan Jacobs Show know that I just love the holidays. But I also know these holidays in particular can be really tough on a lot of people, whether it's the government shutdown, inflation, the economy, whatever it is, or some people just have a hard time during the holidays as it is every single year. It's just a hard time of year for them. As always, we want to be here for you. If we can help out with a little bit of that with free food and groceries, we would love to have you any first or third Thursday of the month. Come on out to Eastern Hills Church at Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road. We're even doing smoked ham and turkey this month in honor of Thanksgiving. So if you need it, anybody, no questions asked. You just pull up and pop the trunk. 4 to 6 p.m., Eastern Hills Community Church, every first and third Thursday, Smoky Hill and Arapahoe Road.
This is Jeff for Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, where we've successfully treated thousands of men for low testosterone and helped them feel like their old selves again. Please take a moment and listen to how we help Greg.
Hi, my name is Greg. I've been a patient of Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic for over 10 years. I noticed that I was really tired. I was lethargic. I didn't sleep really well, and I was overweight. My waist was 4 inches over what it should have been. It was really difficult for me to lose the body shape I didn't like. And of course, my marriage, yes. No man in their 40s wants to have low libido in their marriage. I'm really thankful for this therapy because it just makes me feel the man I want to be, active, at home, everywhere. If you're feeling like I was, call the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic today and get checked. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Thanks, Greg. It's true. Low T therapy will likely change your life. Your initial appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
Your air duct cleaning experts, Ductworks.
Hey guys, feeling cooped up this winter? Mark Schlereth here. You know these Colorado nights can get freezing cold with your furnace running nonstop just to keep things cozy. But here's the thing. While your heating system is working overtime, it's also blowing dust, dirt, and debris through your air ducts and straight into the air you breathe. That's where Ductworks comes in. Your trusted air duct cleaning experts. Using a powerful combination of scraping and vacuuming technology, the Ductworks team clears out years of buildup, grime, and other gunk hiding in your ductwork. The results? Cleaner, fresher air, better energy efficiency, and a healthier home or office for you and your family. Don't wait until spring. Breathe easier now with top-rated service from Ductworks. Call them at 303-425-0985 or visit them online today at ductworks.com for a free residential or commercial estimate.
303-425-0985.
Many of you have been telling us what you'd like most for Thanksgiving, besides a second helping of mashed potatoes. This is Glenn Jammeron. I'm part of the Alpine Bank family, member FDIC. Most of all, you want peace in your life and the lives of those you love. Surprisingly, that's as easy as 1, 2, 3. 1. Fill yourself with loving kindness. 2. Do no harm to yourself or to others. And 3. Tame your mind. Stop speculating and live in the present. You're probably wondering why on earth would Alpine Bank talk to you on such a personal level. 4 words. We care about you. Alpine Bank. Community Colorado. And you.
Stay up to date on the Broncos with our 9 News Broncos insider Mike Kliss. Presented by Fitness Gallery. 1, 2, 3. Hear the latest from every practice and every game every single week during football season. Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
Night here on 104.3 The Fan. Marcello Romano, Dante Gomez, yourself on the RamosLaw.com. Text line 303-713-1043. Pay off a couple more of these texts for some of the best nicknames of all time. I brought that up because we did it on Sunday. It's a fun discussion. Also, the semifinalists for the National Football League Hall of Fame were announced today, and I'm going down that list of great people that are being considered for the Hall of Fame. and I didn't see a bunch of people like back when I was growing up of nicknames. So we got a couple here for you. Some of these, Dante, I'm reading to you, and you're looking at me like I got a third hand growing out of my head or something. So it might be a little bit old, which is fine. It's not as popular as it used to be. 80s and 90s kids, man, we had nicknames for everybody. Sometimes they were, you can't give yourself a nickname, but some people would do it. Here's a couple.
Real quick, Shell, what was your nickname?
Mine?
Yes.
They called me Ro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
I got called Chelios because of my name. Which I didn't love at the time because it was a rival. He played for the Blackhawks and the Red Wings. Just fine. Do you have a nickname?
Yeah, I mean, around here, Zach will call me DG. I get DG a lot. In high school, it was Dante. Yeah, that was pretty much it.
That was like on your team, or just like friends would call you that?
For everything. It kind of became like a whole, high school nickname at that point. One of my older brother's friends made it up, and it kind of just stuck.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe a little. I get Go a little bit. Gomez
or Digo
I have not got Digo.
I call you the Mez, man.
You have called me the Mez. That's a first. I have not been the Mez to anybody else, I don't think.
I think I'm going to keep. If you don't enjoy it, I'll stop doing it. But I
don't mind.
Oh, cool. It's going to stick. We're going to make a movement out of it. Here's one from the 720-495. The truth, the answer. The truth, I think, was Paul Pierce. Answer, Allen Iverson. The human highlight reel. Half man, half amazing. And Dr. Duncanstein. 70s, 80s, and 90s, I'll say. That's where they probably came from. The Rain Man, Sean Kemp. Kevin Durant, the Slim Reaper. Albino Rhino, that could either be Carl Mecklenburg or Kevin McDougal, who was up at CSU. The Mad Bomber, Moneybags for Mayweather, Stink, our very own Stink. That's a pretty classic nickname. So you got a couple of minutes left with us if you want to submit a couple of ones out there. My favorite, I think probably the favorite one I have is the Minister of Defense in Reggie White. It's hard to go against like the Say Hey Kid and some of the ones from way back in the day. Some of those like Sugar Ray, those were a couple of different ones and it was Kenny Stabler that was the snake first. So there you have it. I want to ask you about your decision for Colin Klein up at CSU. Was that an original idea?
Yeah, that was me.
You created it, so you've trademarked it and everything?
Well, that's me doing it on the show right now. I think I'm the first person. I even heard potentially someone else is throwing that out there. I'm going to give you more credit.
I'm going to give you a little golf clap.
I appreciate that. So you like the fit?
I do. I mean, it's not one that I wouldn't have thought of it. But I'm like, I think what college football has become now is you're either going to get a coach that comes from one of the blue bloods, or you're going to go out and you're going to try and create a splash. That's why Cordell Stewart was linked to CSU a couple weeks ago, is because it's like we've seen the moves with Michael Vick at Norfolk State. We've seen it with Deshaun Jackson at Delaware State. We see it right up the road with Prime in this. You could say whether it's success or not. I don't know how you would value it. I would value it like, look where they came from. And this year, we all said it going into it. They could be a 4-win team, or they could be, flirting with double digits. Unfortunately, they fell on the former side of that, and they're not going to probably get to 4 wins, which stinks. But there's no patience anymore with college football. It's turn and burn, dude.
Yeah, I mean, even more, the reason I like it is because he's not there to be splashy. He's rose up the ranks here, being a quarterbacks coach, an offensive coordinator, doing it at legitimate schools in Kansas State and A&M. I think it makes a lot of sense, and I don't really hear his name being thrown out there for all the, Power 4 jobs. So I think it makes all the sense in the world. But yes, it is a Dante Gomez original idea. I'm trademarking it. I brought it up to Zach, I think on Monday, and then I was like, or yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to say it on air so that way there's no confusion, and it's my take. Yeah. So if CSU gets him, I think, what do I get? Season tickets for that?
Yeah, we'll try and help you out with that if that's what it ends up being. I don't want it to be like, when Montfort said, I don't know all the GMs in the league, but I know we got one of the best ones here. That's not how it needs to be. Like, I hope Colorado State is doing a deep dive into what they need, not just for like, that would be the problem though, is like, can I kind of be like a springboard type of job? But if you're at A&M and you have some of the talent there, the guys that you help bring in or that they know you're not going to get all of them. But there's going to couple. If you land that guy, you're going to get a couple stragglers from the Aggies that are coming up to Fort Collins. And that's good talent to be bringing over.
Oh, absolutely. You're talking about, 4 and 5 stars there. And then even beyond that, no offense to you, Cello, but CSU can be somewhat of a stepping stone job for these guys, or the kind of school that, a big Power 4 school, the coach fails and then he, comes back to CSU and then springs back forward. I think it could mean a little bit more to a guy like Colin Klein, and maybe he's not just looking for the next opportunity to jump ship if he is there.
Dude, we're desperate just for competitive football at this point. Like, if it leads to something else, great. But competitive football is what we're shooting for. For Dante Gomez, it's Marcello Romano. You've been listening to Denver Sports Tonight on 104.3 The Fan.
Denver is back for their bye weekend, set for a primetime showdown with Washington. Get ready for kickoff with Denver Game Day, powered by Common Spirit Health, official healthcare partner of the Denver Broncos. Live on Game Day starting at 1 p.m. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Heads up, pros. Now's your chance to unlock deeper savings. The Home Depot's new Pro Extra Preferred pricing can help you save thousands on the products your business uses the most. But the current benefit ends November 15th. Don't miss out. Registration for the new program is free and easy. Just bring your tax ID or business or contractor's license to the Pro Desk. Register now to lock in the best wholesale prices before it's too late.
All diamond studs are not the same. Here's Shayna and Dylan Williams to explain why.
Williams Jewelers natural diamond martini studs are hand-selected from the world's finest diamond tears for superior color, clarity, and brilliance.
Each cut to a maximum diameter so they actually look bigger than average diamond studs of the same carat weight.
Williams martini diamond studs not only look larger, they fit better and face up on the ear. And we have martini diamond studs in every size, up to 5 carats in stock.
This holiday, our best quality natural 1 carat diamond studs start at just $24.50.
Half carats from just $9.50. And remember, you can trade up your Williams Martini natural diamond studs at any time for a larger pair. You just pay the difference.
This holiday, the choice in diamond studs is naturally Williams Jewelers of Inglewood,
where Colorado shines.
Williams Jewelers, we can make diamonds a part of your life.
Williams Jewelers, the official jeweler of the Colorado Avalanche.
For the fitness fanatic on your Christmas list, save big this holiday season. At Fitness Gallery, we have deals everywhere, up to 50% off. We have the nation's lowest prices on the best equipment money can buy. We carry true treadmills. They are the smoothest, quietest, and best warranty treadmills ever built for the home. Work out on your schedule on the equipment